back to my channel. To be a trend with people moving away from their home country to live abroad. Let's talk about some of the reasons why. People want to earn higher salaries. Moving to a country with a stronger currency can increase your advantages to saving more money and investing. Caveat to this is the city's cost of living, the cost of visa applications, and the startup costs. But if you calculate it properly, it is usually a plus if you are willing to live there for quite some time. You may work in a field where your skills or trade may be in demand and required in another country. This is perfect for you. This can make it a lot easier for you to find work with less competition at the cost of relocating. Particularly valuable for new graduates and people with higher skill trades. Starting businesses in a country with less demand for the business, you may see some developing countries with funky looking cafes that are kind of not of the nature of the country's general aesthetic. It's an opportunity to gain service from tourism and help merge cultures in countries. Most tourists like seeing this and will most likely come back if they've had great food or coffee in a foreign country that's similar to their home country, but different in a way that's more special. I know I've always sought good coffee places whenever I travel. They are usually busy with other tourists because locals just don't love the same things that we grow up with, so sometimes they're specifically made just for us. Environment security and a place with less political restraint. For example, sometimes we think the grass is greener when we hear about some other countries being a little bit more tolerant than our home countries. This could be political, lifestyle, or religion. Many people now have heard about what is happening in the US with abortion rights. There are also rising rental issues in livable cities in Australia, or the cost of living turning the country into a recession in the UK. It can also be appealing to want to escape it all. You can see many forums online discussing what it's like to live in another country, which can be very helpful. Better education and healthcare. So studying abroad is a good option to learn about the culture that you've always been intrigued with. For me, I believe the healthcare is at a greater standard in Spain. The wait for simple necessities like seeing a doctor feels more like what I am used to in Australia than what I've experienced while living in the UK. However, if you are wanting to start a family, sometimes the country that you enjoy the most as an adult won't work as well with raising children. For instance, some countries are less developed and might have limited resources and teaching capabilities for what we are familiar with in our developed home country. Family reasons, children, migration, etc. You can love them dearly, but the urge to live abroad in your early 20s to seize the moment can be so tempting. My motto has always been travel while you're young and cherish that. However, you may be at a point in your life also where you want to retire and settle in a country that you've always loved. I got on to living in Palma de Mallorca through a family friend while wanting to live somewhere in Europe, and it was just the right place at the right time. What about better quality of life? For me, changing to live in a place like Spain has felt more like I'm living in a totally different lifestyle. The culture is way more relaxed compared to London, and people seem to have a different outlook on everyday life. It is a country that appreciates the little things a little bit more, and it's not all about working and proving yourself. People drink a lot during the day in the sun, always socializing, and there's a festival every other weekend. And that's not just in summer. The best thing for me has been the weather. It feels way more stable. Summer is very hot, and winter is like a regular type of cold, still with sunny mornings every now and again. Making friends has been a little bit more difficult as I don't have an office space here, and I mostly keep in touch with friends online and travel to London to see friends. So let's go over some of those key factors again. You might really want to experience another EU country long term and get a better sense of how the culture and things are run in the country, which can remove biases and better educate yourself. Exploring the culture, I was able to see many museums and galleries while living in London that I would have never been able to see in a condensed time over a holiday period. Not to mention the English countryside, which is something that everyone must experience while visiting the UK. Food, culture, language learning can also be a little bit too difficult to obtain in your own country. So it's easier in the country where you are trying to learn it. Coming from a big city, living expenses in general are much lower, as well as food and travel. The medical attention, depending on where you choose to live, can either be better or worse. So with that, what do you think about relocating? Would you ever do it? Have you ever considered it? And if you were to do so, where would you choose? It's been great chatting with you today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.